I got it.
Right here.
Oh, if only he got up.
Oh my gosh, that was a dime. Let's go.
Wow.
Real.
Double tap to Y.
It
It's
was
a
so
perk.
good.
I was like, I'm right in front of the keeper.
And I saw you and I was like,
No way I'm
okay,
gonna-
let's try this.
Got it.
Holy crap, we're all over him. Get in there.
Oh, right on cue. I always forget what profile is what now. I switch it so much.
Ooh, Rude is going through. Oh! Let's go.
Johnson.
Good.
Ooh, with that wide receiver route.
Oh, snap.
Oh, we just pooped on him. That
Confused the goalkeeper so
that
bad.
play. That was dirty. Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Lesky here, back to another FIFA 22 Pro Clubs player build. And in this video, we're going to be going over this box-to-box center mid build that I have made an updated version on. The previous video, y'all had a lot of views on it and a lot of likes. Seems like a lot of you guys like to use center mids, especially ones that are like box-to-box that can go forward and play defense. So I decided to post a poll on my community tab and ask you guys what build y'all would like to see me make next. And this was one of the options listed, as well as like a wingback in the CDM position and then a cam playmaker. And it looks like the box-to-box center mid won the vote pretty easily. And then I'll probably get around to the other two builds as well in the future as I keep grinding pro clubs and trying to level up. So don't worry about that. But today we're just going to be focusing on this box-to-box build where I have a lot more skill points than I did on my original video. So let's hop straight into this build video. So let's first talk about the height and weight for this box-to-box build. We went for 6 foot, 174 pounds. I do believe this is the exact height and weight that I posted in the original video. I just think it's a pretty good, well-rounded height and weight for a center mid. Just because you have that bit of physical presence in the midfield to win those 50-50s and you can body people off as well. And then also when you get in the box, you're kind of an aerial threat a little bit. You can score some headers. I scored a couple headers, some volleys. Basically, you can get the ball crossed into you when you're going into the box on offense. So I just like more of a physical presence type of build, especially for a box-to-box build. But some of y'all might prefer a little bit smaller just because it makes it a bit faster, better dribbling probably as well. So if you want to, you can go 5'10", 5'8". Preferably, I wouldn't go anything under 5'8". You could go 5'6" if you'd like, just to be really quick. But you're going to be pretty weak, and I don't know. I just feel like at least 5'10" or 6 foot, maybe 5'8" if you want to go that low, is a pretty good height. Or possibly if y'all want to go even taller, you could go 6'2". Just keep in mind you're going to be a little bit slower, but it's only going to be like a 1 pace difference. So the height's kind of up to you guys. It's a little bit of a preference. It just changes the stats a little bit, but mostly everything on the skill tree will be the same. So I went for 6 foot. And then that weight is a pretty average weight. I like to use this weight on a lot of builds, and it's 174. The thing about weight on a center mid is it doesn't matter like really what weight you are. I mean, it kind of changes a little bit, but when it comes to pace, the pace is basically the exact same. So I'm 99 pounds right here. And with 87 pace, if I bump it up to 253, I have 87 pace still. The only difference is that at 99 pounds, you're going to have more acceleration than sprint speed. And then if you're at 253, you're going to have more sprint speed than acceleration. So we wanted a good balance. And I think the best balance is 174. And there's really only one difference in acceleration and sprint speed. So they're basically even. And I think that's pretty good balance for a box-to-box build. So that's why I went for 174 pounds. Now let's take a look at the perks for this box-to-box build. For the first perk on this build, we have Precision Pass, which is pretty good for all midfielder builds, honestly, because it increases your short and long passing. Basically any type of A pass, whether it's RBA, double tap A, just normal A passes, as well as like your X passes across the field that you're trying to switch it across the field or maybe loft it to your teammate's chest. RBXs, normal Xs, it works for all that as well. It just doesn't work for your crosses, so keep that in mind. You need the pinpoint cross for that. But we don't have the pinpoint crosser perk on this build because this is a midfielder build and you're not going to find yourself on the outside areas of the field too much, so that's why we don't have it. And then the second perk is the threaded pass, which will increase your vision on long through balls, which it basically just improves your through balls, your wide through balls, to get your teammates in behind the defense and one-on-one with the goalie. And then it'll also give you the swerve, flare trait, and 5-star weak foot. And the 5-star weak foot is clutch for these passes because you don't have to worry about hitting it on your weak foot. It's going to be just as good as if it were on your dominant foot. So that's extremely clutch for making very accurate passes. And then the third perk is physical strength, which I like to use on all my builds, and especially since we're 6 foot and we got some sort of physicality on this build, it's nice to boost it up even more since center mid's basic physical attributes aren't the greatest. So this will just increase your strength, ball control, and jumping when jostling, shielding, or heading the ball. So it's really good, especially for defense, to push people off the ball, especially the little builds, to bump them off the ball and just take it and basically bully them out the way. All 3 of these perks work extremely well with this build, and I would definitely keep these 3 if you have them all unlocked. But some of y'all might not have the threaded pass unlocked because it's level 21 to unlock it, and it takes a while to get up there. So some of y'all might not have it. Some alternatives for the threaded pass would be to maybe put distant shooter on, even though we have pretty good long shots already. This will increase your shot power and make them even deadlier from outside the box. Possibly one-time shot because this is a box-to-box build. You will be getting in the box to help out on offense, and it'll give you the power header, increase your weak foot on one-time shots, and just your finishing ability in general. And then it'll also give you the finesse shot, flare, and the outside the foot shot. So that's another one that you could add, but you might not be utilizing it too much. But the best one, I think, instead of this threaded pass would probably be ball winner, because the defensive ability on this build is pretty average, maybe a little bit above average. It's not that great. We don't have a ton of skill points on the skill tree on the defensive page. So ball winner would just increase your tackling ability even more, make you a little bit more of a defensive presence. So that's what I would go for, honestly, if you don't have the threaded pass unlocked. So that's it for the perks on this build. Let's go take a look at the skill tree. So let's start with the physical page, where we only have one thing on this page. And like I said, with the physical strength perk, why we have it on this build is because the physical attributes on a center mid just aren't very good to start with. Even if you are 6 foot, 174 pounds, like we're pretty tall and have some good amount of weight on us, and the physical attributes still aren't very good. We only have 70 jumping. 81 stamina is the best thing, actually, other than reactions. 81 stamina to start with is really good, especially for a box-to-box build. You could add it even more, and honestly, you could put the tireless runner on this build too if you just want to, like that perk, the second win perk, just to increase the stamina even more, like late game. But I didn't find it too necessary, and I don't even have it unlocked anyways. But I didn't even touch the stamina because it already has 81 to start with, so I thought that was already pretty good. The only thing we have is this +2 strength for 1 skill point, which isn't bad, just to get the strength up even more. And remember, we do have that physical strength perk, so honestly the strength is a little bit better than what it says, and as well as the jumping. And the 84 reactions is actually pretty good, I guess. So let's go over to defending now, where we have a bit of skill points on this page. What we did is just got all these 3 stuff on this right side, which is just basically all stand tackling and slide tackling. We go all the way down to this third one, and it'll give us +2 stand tackling and +6 slide tackling for 6 skill points. So that's pretty good, and that'll bump us up to 70 slide tackling and 76 stand tackling. And I think that's pretty good for a box-to-box build. Like, we're not going to be focusing too much on defense. So I just wanted to get pretty much everything in the 70s other than defensive awareness, which is pretty much useless unless you're playing as an any with this build. So we don't have to worry about that. And like I said, if you don't have that threaded pass perk and you want to add the ball winner to make the defense even better and improve your tackling ability, you can go for that. But despite the defensive abilities not being too crazy and not even having the ball winner perk on, I actually made quite a bit of tackles with this build, and you have the physical strength perk to body people off, and because you're going to be running into a lot of smaller builds as well, and you can just get into them, push them off the ball, and just bully them out of the way, and they kind of have no chance of stealing the ball back because you can just shield them and use the strength and that perk to keep the ball away from them. Now let's take a look at the dribbling page, because that's pretty much it for defending. Yeah, I would like to have more skill points on the defending page, but we just don't have that much to put on that page, and we needed to focus more on the dribbling as well on the shooting for this build just to make it more of a box-to-box build, and most importantly, dribbling, just because honestly it's the most important category in FIFA. Just having a build with good dribbling just makes you feel a lot more responsive and silky, especially since we're a taller build. We definitely wanted to increase the dribbling even more. So as you guys can see, we actually have 89 agility for a 6-foot center mid. That's actually really good, and I'm surprised we could even get it that high. But the main reason is because we went for the Lynx archetype, which I like to do in a lot of my builds, because like I said, the dribbling category is the most important in my opinion in FIFA, and it's been like that for years. So what you do is just go for the Lynx archetype, and you get 89 agility and 81 balance. Once you add this balance right here, that gives you +3 to get us up to 81, looking nice on the agility and balance. Everything over 80, almost have 90 agility. And I went for 5-star skills. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't want the 5-star skills. You can just rock the 4-star skills in the midfield. So feel free to take this one off or this one. It's not going to matter. And then just keep everything else the same. And then you could use these 5 skill points to maybe add more to defending. Like you could increase the stand tackling right here to go to 79 stand tackling, and then you could possibly just increase the interceptions. It's only 1 skill point to have 76 interceptions, and then you have 1 extra skill point to add to wherever you'd like. So that's an alternative, or also you could just put it maybe on physical or passing or shooting, kind of wherever you want. But for me, I like the 5-star skills, especially in the midfield. I've explained this in a lot of my videos. So that's what I went for, but feel free if you don't want the 5-star skills to take them off. Now let's take a look at the passing page. And since we already have the precision pass perk as well as the threaded pass perk, we didn't add too much skill points on this build. We were relying on those perks to increase our passing ability quite a bit. We pretty much just had 1 skill point left, and we decided to add it on short passing to get it a little bit closer to the long passing. We have 82 vision, 80 crossing, 84 long passing, 81 short passing until we add this right here, and it'll go up to 83 short pass with 80 curve. So all the attributes are 80 and higher. Very good passing attributes to start with as a center mid. And then we have those 2 perks to increase the passing even more. So there's really nothing wrong with the passing ability on this build. It's honestly one of the best things about this build. Just because it's, to start with, it's already very good. And then with the perks on top of that, you have some top-notch passing ability, and you can make some dimes, get some easy assists with this build. So not much else to talk about with the passing page. Let's take a look at shooting, where we have the 4-star weak foot. It's really nice to have. And then I like to get these first 6 right here on a lot of my builds. These 3 boots with the ball give you +8 finishing and +6 volleys for 6 skill points, which is nice. And then as well as these 3 long shots and shot power, they give you +4 shot power and +9 long shots for only 6 skill points too. And then the 4-star weak foot is 5 skill points. But the shooting attributes really aren't that bad. It would be nice to get the finishing up even more, but the only way to do that is to get the finisher archetype, and that's just way too many skill points, especially since we have the Lynx archetype. It's just not possible. And yeah, you are going to be going into the box quite a bit since this is a box-to-box build, and you will have some chances where you need to finish it. But 78 finishing is not too bad, and it's not like you're a cam or a striker or a winger, so you're not going to be having a ton of chances, but you definitely will have some chances in the box. So it's nice to bump up the finishing. It's just unfortunate we can't get it even more. We just kind of have to deal with it. And then we have the 75 shot power, 86 volleys, and then 92 long shots, which is the best attribute on this shooting page. And I had 1 really good long shot with this build. I don't really try too many long shots. I only had like 2 or 3 attempts, and I made 1, and 1 was saved. I think it was going in, and it was saved. It was a really nice save by the keeper. So you can definitely make long shots with this build. So for people that like taking long shots, you can definitely have some success with this build, even though we don't have that long shot perk on. The one thing that stands out to me on this page, and it's honestly kind of annoys me, is that they give center mids, like their base heading attributes, really bad. Like to where even if you were to try and upgrade it, it's not going to make much of a difference. 55 heading accuracy to start with as a center mid, like that's so dumb. Like there's some center mids, defensive mids. I know this isn't a defensive mid build, but there's some center mids out there that have, like in real life, that are really good at heading. One example would be Milinkovic-Savic on Lazio. He's like a box-to-box midfielder, and he scores a ton of headers, and he has really good heading actually on Ultimate Team. But it's just so annoying that in pro clubs as a center mid, they give you terrible heading actually. That kind of pisses me off, but I did score a couple headers with this build. So I guess it doesn't make too much of a difference, but you will definitely notice it if you start getting a lot of header attempts. Some of them might not be as good as you'd like. And now for the last page, which is pace. We are not the fastest build in the game, that's for sure. I think center mids are actually the slowest position in the game this year just because they're really well rounded in all the other categories, I guess. They don't want to make them have crazy pace like the strikers, wingbacks, and all that. So I think that's why they put them at the lowest pace for all the positions in pro clubs. But as a 6-foot center mid, 174 pounds, this is better than what it would have been last year when it comes to pace. We still have 87 acceleration and 88 sprint speed, which really isn't too bad at all. So I really don't have too much complaints about the pace on this build. And that's going to wrap it up for this box-to-box center mid player build. Please let me know in the comments if you do give this build a try, how it went on for you. I'd love to hear that. And if y'all could hit that like button on this video for me, and hit that subscribe button on my channel if you aren't already subscribed. Trying to get to 3K subscribers as soon as possible. I'd love to achieve that milestone. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for a lot more Pro Clubs builds coming out in the future. And y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out.